Hey, aloha everybody. Michelle Melendez with blossominnerwellness.com and standtogetherhawaii.com and a few things. I just want to acknowledge everybody who is protesting in Maui against the toxic waste dump that they're putting out there, and the astronomical damage that could do to the environment there, as well as just around the world, is unbelievable. So if you, no matter where you live in the world, you can sign a petition. That link is in the description, and just sending Maui and all of us inner strength for this time. I want to do a video. This video is on understanding the field that is around us. And I'm going to be sharing a video, and that link is in the description. It's on Greg Braden's platform, his YouTube channel. So definitely follow him because he's one of my favorite physicists, scientists, geologists, spiritual teachers. He's phenomenal. But I don't want this to go too long, so I'm just going to share in a nutshell understanding this field that we live in, and how powerful it is, and how powerful we are, and the fact that this next year, which I think 2024 is going to be an explosive year of truth and light, and just a lot of things that are going to be breaking down so that we can have a new breakthrough toward way more freedom and way more harmony on the planet. And that's the vision I'm holding. There's some other friends that believe it's going to be chaos, and also I think it is, but I think that if each one of us understands this field that we live in and how powerful we are and how to utilize it, that we can actually navigate through this time way more easily than people who don't understand the field and who are meshed in the fear propaganda that mainstream media loves to push on us. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a screen share of, let me actually have to open up that page so that, where is it? Okay. Hold on one second. I'm just going to pause the video for a second so I can find it for you guys. All right, I found it. This is a Greg Braden official YouTube channel called Can Spirit Be Measured? The Field, a film by Tisipi Raz. And let's just hear what they have to say. Oops, I forgot that I need to put on the audio. So let me do that really fast. Share sound, optimize video. Here we go.
The field is a benevolent, harmonious vibration. If you harmonize with it, with your consciousness, you activate your cellular structure. Those who could totally and completely harmonize with the field can control physics.
So I'm just going to stop that. This is, again, Greg Braden's official. You got to watch this video. It's amazing. But this field is, if you could take the very strongest microscope and see the geometric shape in this field, you would get the flower of life. These are circles, and they grow on each other. They are on top of each other. So this flower of life, this is one flower of life, and then they keep going infinitely. This geometric shape is in every single cell of your body. It's in the empty space. So it's like fish that swim through water. We're actually walking through, we're living through a frequency, an energy. And each one of us, with the frequency and the personality that we have, changes the field. We change the field by walking into it. You know, when you're in a room and you can feel when someone comes in, especially if they're dynamic or if they're angry. It's a very strong energy, and you can feel the field change before you even see the person. Or you know how you just know something, or here's another thing too. Our thoughts in our brain, they don't live in our brain. Our thoughts, they're actually in the field, in this frequency. And then we actually we pull them into us. We magnetize our thoughts in our brain. So our thoughts don't live in our brain. What is a thought? It's just a frequency. So, a lot of times when I coach people, my book is End Dieting Hell: How to Live in Peace, how to find peace and live in a body that you love, because my background is weight loss and fitness for 30 years. And what I realized was that the women who struggle with their weight aren't struggling with weight. They're struggling with the conditioned pattern in their body, the frequency, the feeling of struggling with their weight, because that feels normal. So here's what happens. We have 50 to 100 trillion cells in our body. And the thoughts that come from the field, and I'll explain that in a second, and I'm going to show you another video clip on that same video from Dr. Bruce Lipton. But what happens is whatever thought you have over and over and over again, that gets conditioned into the 50 to 100 trillion cells in the body, and it vibrates those cells at that frequency. So if a woman, this is an example, you can use this example with money, with relationships, with self-esteem, with anything. But if you keep thinking over and over again the same thoughts, and especially if you were younger and you had those thoughts continually, that is a frequency that you're putting into the cells of the body. Now the body sends a signal to the brain to think a thought that then sends the frequency that it's used to having back into the body. So here's an example, like a woman who loses weight. She loses weight, but she doesn't feel normal in a body that she loves. She loses weight, she's looking great, but it's never good enough. It's never good enough. Why? Because the personality of her and the frequency that she has feels normal, struggling with her weight and struggling with self-esteem. So that what happens is the body will send a signal to the brain to go think a thought right now about that you don't look good enough, that this isn't you're going to gain the weight back, you're going to gain the weight back, that fear, that anxiety. And so what happens? She self-sabotages and goes back to what is normal, which is the frequency of struggling with her weight, and it keeps going over and over and over again. If she doesn't realize that this is just a conditioned, I call it addiction, emotional addiction in the body, and start to work from that emotional addiction versus exercise and diet, which will never work for her because she's conditioned emotionally to struggle with her weight, and that feels normal. So if she doesn't realize that, she will self-sabotage forever, and she'll never live in a body she loves. And again, this goes with money, relationships, anything like that. So I want to show you another video clip on that video that I just shared. And this is from Dr. Bruce Lipton, and who is an amazing scientist, did not believe in God until after he started studying more of the patterns of the cells and the frequencies. Okay, 1932. It's at 1940. I'm looking for 1940, you guys. I think I'm gonna have to go 1932. All right, we'll do 1932.
Science of genes control your life. And this is an experiment that I did that changed my whole life. I have 50,000 genetically identical cells in a petri dish. All the cells came from the same parent. I split the cells into 3 different petri dishes. I changed the environment in each of the dishes. In environment A, the cells form muscle. In environment B, the cells form bone. In environment C, the cells form fat cells. Now you're left with a question. What controls the fate of the cells? And the answer is not the genes, they were all exactly the same. The only thing that was different was the environment. But at this time, which is back in the early 70s, all the scientific world was so wrapped up in genes that when I tried to show my experiments, my colleagues looked at it and said, no, that's, there's just an artifact, it's not real. I left the system.
Basically what he's saying is that the field, the environment changes the genes. So it's not your genes, it's the environment, which is your blood, your emotional frequency of your body, because that's in the cells of the body, and your environment, which is your home and your job and your relationships. All of those are the environment in the petri dish that changes the genes. And so what he was saying is we tried to bring it to the scientific world, but they weren't having it because they didn't want to change their paradigm. But here's a new paradigm that we're moving toward, is we have to understand that this vessel that we call a human body, and these thoughts and our personality is not who we are. It's not who we are. It's only a conditioned pattern based on the emotional trauma from our past that keeps us repeating cycles over and over again, that keeps us having the same exact personality. So I do want to share one more And then I want to finish off and give you guys a really great prayer for this and a practice for this, because you're way more powerful than you can ever possibly imagine. I haven't gone through all this whole video, so I probably will do another video on this video, but this part's super cool. 1208. All right, here we go. So this guy, what he's doing with his hands, there's a frequency field that goes around the body. And he's been trained, and anybody can be trained to do this. He's been trained to feel the field that's around the body. What did I say? This is not empty space. This is a frequency. He is feeling into that frequency. It's like when you are in love and you feel that person, and you can feel the magnetism, the gravity, the magnetism that you guys have for each other. That's the field you're feeling into. You're feeling that. So you can feel this when somebody's angry or when somebody's depressed. You can feel the frequency. So what he's doing is he can feel it with his hands. And so he's going to be talking about that. So here we go.
There's layers around the body, and they go from 1 millimeter from the skin and out to a certain field around the body. Between the skin and the edge of that field, there's a lot other more fields. When I start off by almost touching and then I move slowly backwards, I am looking for the field that gives me the strongest sensation in the palm of the hand. When I find the right field, that field will start pulsing. Now, the pulse to me is just about the most mystical thing in the world, because I have no idea what the pulse is.
So see how far he was from her? See how far away from the body? See, he can still feel the field way over here. Again, this is Greg Braden Official. You can Spirit Be Measured. You can find this video and watch the whole thing. But this is how far he is away from the body, and he can still feel the field. And why? Because he's been trained to do it. Any one of us can do this, and this is just a frequency field. It's like water. So why is this important, especially for the new year? Is that it's really important for each one of us. Take inventory of your life. Is it the way that you want it to be? Because there's magic here. Like so I used this to go to Australia. So I think, oh my gosh, I got to tell you guys a really good, fun story about this. Okay, so check this out. I get to Australia. We are, and it was a reality TV show that I was in, and they wanted to have everybody go to these Iditarod husky puppy farm. And so this guy trained husky puppies for the Iditarod race, which is like 1,000-mile race or something in the snow. It's crazy. But the thing is that the person who was supposed to schedule us forgot to schedule us. So there was no schedule. We were not on the schedule, and they were full. There was no way that we could go. They were full. They didn't schedule us. We were going to miss seeing the Iditarod puppies, the husky puppies. So I really wanted to go. So what did I do? I started getting into a really high frequency, and I go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I was walking around going in my head saying, and nobody knew I was doing this, but I knew. I was like, we're going. I know we're going. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I know this is going to happen. And I'm so grateful. Thank you, universe. I can even feel the frequency on my body right now. Thank you, universe. I can't believe I get to see these Iditarod puppies, the husky puppies. This is going to be so amazing. Oh my gosh. We go to this, we had an adventure with these ATVs, and we go to the ATVs. Well, we had to wait because they weren't ready for us. So I start going for a walk, and I start walking, and I look over and I see this house, and I just start walking toward the house, not knowing why. I just start walking, da, 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 da. These two beautiful husky dogs come out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm petting the dogs, and I look at the guy, or was it a lady? It was a man. And I was petting him. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he comes out. I'm like, hi. I'm like, totally with this group. And we really wanted to go see the Iditarod husky puppies at the puppy farm, but they don't have availability for us. And our person didn't make reservations. And I'm petting these puppies, these huge, actually they weren't puppies. These were huge husky dogs. And the guy goes, my daughter is the one who schedules for that farm. And she went to the store and she's going to be back in about 15 minutes. And I was like, what? And so I gave the number to of our manager guy, leader, and I go back to the guy, and I'd been telling them, you guys, we're going to go. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to get to see these puppies. And the guy looks, I tell him, I said, dude, I just walked down and I was at this house, Husky Puppies, gave him your number. The ladies, she was the one that schedules. He looked at me, he was in shock. He was totally in shock. He was like, I can't believe that just happened. We go, I gotta share this picture of the Husky Puppies somewhere on my computer. But anyway, we had a great time. I saw the Husky Puppies. It was phenomenal. That is the power you have. If you are in a situation where you don't know how it's going to work out, it is really important to get into a state of not only gratitude, but knowing that it's going to work out. This is why I do the prayers the way that I do. People, they always say in Jesus' name and amen at the end. I don't say that. Because why? Because I've shared a video on this prior, but the Bible was created by the Roman Catholic Church, which was created by the Romans because Christianity was becoming too strong. And Jesus was a teacher of love. And they used that in the Bible and put in other things to manipulate and control us. So this is why I don't pray. This is why I pray the way that I pray. Because a lot of people go, is she praying to the Creator? Oh, heck yeah, I'm praying to the Creator. I'm praying to the infinite oneness that has created all of us, that's in the field around us, that lives in every single cell of our body, and that we can claim things and have them happen, not because God creates it, but because God eternal lives in our body. That's actually written in Hebrew on our DNA. And I did a whole video on that, and you can look for it. It's called God Eternal Within the Body. Or I think it's actually called, Does God Live Within the Body, or Do You Need to Be Saved? So that's a whole nother video on that. But the reason I'm sharing this is because this is the new year. Take inventory of your life. And maybe I'll even do a live on this for everybody so we can do it together. Family, work, relationships, money, all of it. Write out what it is that you have and write out what it is that you want, and be very specific, and then start to get into a field, an energy, a frequency of gratitude around what it is that you want. So let's go ahead and do that now, and then I'll move along with my day, because I'm gonna go help out some amazing athletes. I get to steer on a canoe for these disabled people that get to go in the canoe, and I get to steer them. So that's in about an hour. I have to be there, so I better hurry up. Okay. Just wanted you to notice the field and the energy in your body right now, the emotional frequency. Don't make it right. Don't make it wrong. Don't make it good or bad. It is just a frequency, and it doesn't mean anything but what you make it mean. You are a meaning maker. That is what you are, living in a human body. So now get into the field of a feeling that you are always taking care of, a feeling, a frequency that everything is working out for you. Can you find that frequency in your body? And if you can't, what if you could? What would it feel like? Just imagine, what would it feel like to feel that everything is working out for you, to feel like that you have way more abundance than you could ever possibly have, that abundance comes to you in expected and unexpected ways so much that you can share, that you can give. Feel it. And if you can't feel it, what if you could? What would it feel like? Explore it. Just explore. That's all you have to do. And now get into the frequency of love, of the feeling of holding your baby for the first time, the feeling of being with somebody special that lights up your heart, the feeling of holding a puppy, a husky puppy, and the smell of that puppy. Just to give yourself permission, maybe getting your house for the first time, and that joy, that lightness. Give yourself permission to feel this. And now, give yourself permission to feel gratitude for the infinite intelligence that is bringing everything to you, that is bringing freedom and peace and harmony to all people right now in this present moment. Give yourself permission to say, thank you, universe, infinite creator that is running the tides, moving the sun across the sky, germinating the vegetables in the soil that are in the darkness, in the pressure, and they're growing to the light. This infinite intelligence beating your heart, breathing your body, running the cells throughout your body. Just give yourself permission to feel gratitude that you are totally taken care of in the frequency of love, of absolute abundance, of safety, and of peace, and of harmony with all people, with all relationships, and with the world. Give yourself permission to feel that frequency right now and let it light up your heart. And now if we send that frequency out to your neighborhood, we send it to your town or your city. We send it out to your state or your province, that frequency of peace, of abundance, of harmony, of unity. We send that frequency out to all of Europe, to the mainland, to Canada, to Mexico, to Ukraine, to Russia, to Israel, to Palestine, to China, to Australia, to New Zealand, to the Hawaii Islands. We send that frequency out as we hear children laughing and playing. We feel the frequency that this planet is free, that all people are kept safe. We send that frequency out, the knowingness that this world is at peace. And we know it is done. And so it is. So I don't know if you can hear the kids playing, but we have a huge trampoline that they're jumping on. Sending you guys so much aloha from the Big Island of Hawaii. Please know that this is your purpose. You're meant to be here. It's not a mistake that you're here. It's not a mistake that you're doing what you're doing and that you are who you are. You have a certain frequency that only you can bring to the planet. You are the only person that can bring your frequency to the planet, and you have it and you're here. Trust yourself. The powers that be have manipulated and controlled us and programmed us to believe that we are not powerful, but you are way more powerful than you can ever possibly imagine. They have turned off 95% of our DNA and called it junk DNA. 95%, that's how powerful you are, because they only allowed us to have 5% of our DNA, because our DNA has been manipulated for thousands of years, and that's a whole different story, and I did do a video on that. That's how powerful you are. You do not have junk DNA. It's just turned off. How do we turn it back on? We start understanding the field and the frequency around us, and we command and we say it is turned back on again. And we keep trusting that that is going to happen. So that is your job. That's your kuleana. That's what is yours to do. Hold in your body the frequency that you are totally taken care of. Trust. Know. Absolutely know that your life is getting better. That you don't have to know how. That's the thing, is you're not even supposed to know how. You get to watch it as things unfold for you. As what I was saying, I don't know how we're going to see the husky puppies, but I know we're going to see them, you guys. We're going to see them. And I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm in the freaking van saying this. You guys, I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to see them. I know we are. And then that magic happened. Within the next like 2 hours, that happened. Sending you guys so much aloha and love from the Big Island of Hawaii. We've got this, you guys. Stay out of fear, stay in love, stay in trust, and stay in a high frequency of knowing how powerful you are, because you are really, really are. Love you.